Jai Gurudev, today we are diving into a fascinating discussion about how the timeless lessons from the Lord of the Rings can be applied to our day-to-day and professional lives. We will explore these teachings through the wisdom of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji and the transformative tools offered by Art of Living, including Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, meditation, seva, and ancient practices like Sandhya Vandan and Padma Sadhana. Joining us is an expert from the Art of Living and an officer of Vedic Sansthan. Jai Gurudev, and thank you for being here. Thank you for having us. It's an honor to discuss how ancient wisdom and modern day tools can bring positive transformation in our lives through the lens of such a powerful narrative. One of the key lessons in The Lord of the Rings is that hope can be found even in the darkest times. How can we apply this teaching in our day to day life, especially when faced with challenges at work or personal life? Yes, Jai Gurudev, this lesson reminds us of the importance of resilience. In challenging times, we can turn to practices like Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, which Gurudev emphasizes. These tools help us center our mind and bring clarity even in turbulent situations. By regularly practicing these, we tap into an inner reservoir of hope, much like Frodo and Sam continued their journey despite overwhelming odds. Yes, Sudarshan Kriya in particular helps reduce stress and anxiety. When the mind is calm, we naturally find hope and positivity in even in difficult circumstances. This practice aligns with the teachings of surrender and trust in the divine, something seen in the Lord of the Rings as well, where characters like Gandalf trust in the larger cosmic order. In our professional lives, we must learn to trust the process and the bigger picture, which can be cultivated through regular sadhana and seva. That's beautifully said. Another important lesson from the novel is that true leadership serves, it doesn't command. Aragorn is a prime example of a leader who serves his people. How does this relate to leadership in our personal and professional spheres? In the Vedic tradition, the ideal leader is a sevak or a servant. A leader serves those they lead. This is in harmony with Gurudev's teachings, where he emphasizes that true leadership comes from a space of humility and selflessness. A leader should uplift others just as Aragon did. In today's world, this can be practiced by incorporating seva into our daily routine, serving others without expecting anything in return. This nurtures humility and the qualities of a true leader. Absolutely. Satsang also plays a key role in shaping leadership qualities. In satsang, we come together in collective wisdom, which fosters a spirit of collaboration. Leadership is not about having authority, it's about empowering others, just as Frodo is empowered by his companions. In our professional lives, this could mean supporting our teams with empathy, practicing active listening, and leading by example. There is another lesson that resonates deeply. Even the smallest creature can change the course of history. How do we cultivate this belief that each of us, no matter how small or insignificant we may feel, can make a difference? This is where the Upanayanam and Sandhya Vandanam rituals come into play. These ancient practices help instill a sense of purpose and duty. In the vast cosmos, we may feel small, but through these daily spiritual practices, we are reminded of our unique role in the universe. In the same way, Sam and Frodo, though small in stature, played a pivotal role in Middle Earth's destiny. We must remember that no act of seva is too small. It all contributes to the greater good. Alongside that, Padma Sadhana and Shakti Kriya help us tap into our own inner power. These practices strengthen our connection with ourselves and our inner strength. When we recognize our inner potential, we stop underestimating ourselves. In professional settings, this translates to believing that even the smallest contributions we make in a team or project have the power to shift outcomes. We must never underestimate the power of intention and action, no matter how minor it seems. Speaking of inner strength, the Lord of the Rings also teaches that persistence is more important than strength. How do we nurture persistence in our lives, especially when things get tough? Yes, persistence is nurtured through discipline, and this is where Sandhya Vandanam and Agni Karyam play a vital role. These daily rituals connect us to the divine rhythm of nature. When we align ourselves with this slow, persistence becomes natural. The rituals instill discipline, reminding us that every day is a new opportunity to strive towards our goals, much like Frodo and Sam's unwavering determination to destroy the ring despite the overwhelming challenges. Sadhana, the practice of restraint, is also crucial. It teaches us that to keep moving forward without being distracted by temporary setbacks in our professional lives. This could mean staying focused on long term goals despite short term challenges. Regular practice of yoga, pranayama, and meditation builds the mental stamina necessary for persistence. One more important lesson is that true courage is acting despite fear. How do Art of Living tools help people cultivate courage in their daily lives? Yes, courage is a result of connection with the divine, and through tools like mantra chanting and Padma sadhana, we build a connection to our inner self and the universal energy. When you are connecting to something greater than yourself, fear dissipates. This is why mantra chanting and pujas and homas is so powerful. It instills divine energy within us. Sudarshan Kriya is an especially powerful tool for overcoming fear. When our breath is calm, our mind becomes calm. Fear arises when the mind is agitated through Sudarshan Kriya. We harmonize the breath and the mind, allowing courage to arise naturally. Just as Frodo continues, despite his fear, we can learn to act in the face of fear by practicing these techniques regularly. Finally, the novel teaches us that there is no victory without sacrifice. How does the Art of Living perspective guide us in understanding the value of sacrifice? In the Vedic tradition, sacrifice is seen as yagya, an offering to the divine. It reminds us that in order to achieve something greater, we often have to give up our ego, comfort, and desires. The story of the rings' destruction is a perfect metaphor for the sacrifice of personal desires for the greater good. In our lives, this could mean sacrificing short term comfort for long term well being, a concept echoed in the teachings of Ayurveda. Seva is the ultimate form of sacrifice in Art of Living. When we engage in selfless service, we give up our limited sense of self for something greater. This sacrifice brings joy, fulfillment, and true success. In our professional lives, this could be seen as sacrificing personal ambitions for the benefit of the whole team or organization. In the long run, this selflessness leads to greater personal and collective success. This has been an enlightening discussion. The parallels between the Lord of the Rings and the wisdom of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji combined with the Art of Living tools provide a powerful framework for how we can live more meaningful and courageous lives. Thank you both for your time and insights. Thank you. It was a pleasure to share these timeless lessons, Jai Gurudev. Jagodev, that was truly insightful. Let's dive a bit deeper into some more lessons from the Lord of the Rings and explore how they align with His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji's wisdom and Art of Living tools. There are a few points that we haven't yet touched upon yet, such as the idea that power can corrupt and humility is the true strength. How can we learn from this, especially in the context of leadership? Yes, this is a very important lesson. Throughout the Lord of the Rings, we see that those who seek power, like Sauron and Saruman, become corrupt and destructive. On the other hand, humble characters like Frodo, Aragorn, and Gandalf show true inner strength. Gurudev always emphasizes that true power comes from humility and serving others. Satsang is an important practice that keeps us humble because it reminds us that we are part of something much larger. When we are connected to higher wisdom, through satsang, our ego diminishes and we lead with grace, not greed. In a Vedic tradition, humility is also reflected in rituals like Upanayanam, where the initiate is reminded of their duty to live a disciplined, selfless life. Humility is also about understanding that we are instruments of the divine, just as Frodo was an instrument in fulfilling a larger cosmic purpose. This mindset of being a channel for something greater helps us avoid the pitfalls of power and ego in both personal and professional settings. Another critical lesson from the novel is the teamwork and collaboration team to success. How do the teachings of Art of Living and Vedic Dharma Sansthan reflect this idea? This is very much in line with the concept of Sangha or community, which is central to the Vedic way of life. The fellowship in the Lord of the Rings succeeds because each member brings unique strengths, much like a Sangha supports individual growth through collective energy. Practicing together in rituals like Sandhya Vandanam and Homas brings synergy that amplifies everyone's spiritual strength. In a professional setting, this teaches us the importance of collaboration where each team member's contribution is valued for the overall success. In Art of Living, the power of Seva is that it brings people together to work towards a common goal selflessly. When we work in Seva, whether it's organizing an event or serving the community, everyone plays a part just as the fellowship did. It's about coming together, putting aside our egos, and contributing toward a higher cause. Professionally, this translates into teamwork and the idea that when we pool our talent selflessly, we can achieve much more than working alone. A beautiful message in The Lord of the Rings is that nature is sacred and must be protected. As seen through the ends and the forest, how do Art of Living and Vedic Dharma Sansthan emphasize the importance of nature in our lives? In Vedic tradition, nature is not just sacred, it is divine. The earth is considered Bhumi Devi, and our connection to nature is seen in rituals like Agni Karyam, fire ceremonies, and pujas, where we honor the elements just like the ants who protect the forest. We are custodians of nature through ancient practices. We are reminded that we must live in harmony with the earth, not exploit it. Gurudev emphasizes the importance of reconnecting with nature. In Art of Living. We practice Shakti Kriya and Padma Sadhana, which help us align with natural rhythms. When we are in tune with nature, we naturally feel a sense of responsibility to protect it. Professionally, this lesson can inspire us to adopt sustainable practices and make environmentally conscious decisions, knowing that our well being is intricately connected with the well being of our planet. Another profound lesson is that healing comes through both inner and outer journeys. In The Art of Living and The Lord of the Rings, characters like Frodo and Aragorn undergo physical and spiritual healing. How do the Art of Living tools support healing in both personal and professional lives? In our tradition, healing is holistic. It involves body, mind, and spirit. Practices like Ayurveda, mantra chanting, and Agni Karyam help restore balance in all these dimensions. Healing is not just about addressing physical ailments, but about nurturing the soul. Frodo's journey of healing from the trauma of carrying the ring mirrors our need for spiritual practices to heal from the stress and challenges of modern life. Through Art of Living tools like Sudarshan Kriya, yoga, and meditation, we facilitate deep inner healing. Sudarshan Kriya, especially, detoxifies the body and clears emotional blocks, much like how Frodo had to deal and heal from the heavy burden of the ring. In professional life, this healing is vital because when we are mentally and emotionally balanced, we are able to perform better, make better decisions, and lead more effectively. One last lesson from the novel is that wisdom comes from experience, not just knowledge. How does this resonate with the teachings of Gurudev and the practices of Art of Living? This is a crucial point. Wisdom is experiential. It is something we live and practice, not just something we intellectually understand. In Art of Living, we often say experience is the mother of all knowledge. By engaging in regular sadhana, pranayama, and seva, we don't just learn wisdom, we embody it. Kandal's wisdom comes from his long life and deep experiences, just as our own wisdom deepens through sustained spiritual practices. Gurudev often says that when we meditate, we access a higher intelligence beyond the mind. This can profoundly impact our personal and professional lives, enabling us to approach challenges with calm and clarity. In the Vedic tradition, wisdom is passed down through experience and lived knowledge. This is why practices like Upanayana and Sandhya Vandanam are so important. They are rituals that have been lived and experienced by countless generations professionally. This means that we grow through experiences, learning from each challenge and success. Wisdom is not something you acquire in a day, it is something you cultivate over a lifetime of practice and reflection. Thank you both for your time and wisdom. The parallels between the lessons from the Lord of the Rings and the ancient wisdom shared through Art of Living and Vedic practices are truly inspiring. These insights remind us that both modern challenges and timeless stories offer profound lessons that can be transformed into daily spiritual and practical tools for a better, more fulfilling life. Thank you for having us. We hope that these insights can help everyone navigate their personal and professional journeys with greater clarity and purpose. Jagadev. Another important theme in The Lord of the Rings is the value of perseverance and patience, especially in the face of overwhelming challenges. How does this align with the teachings from Art of Living and Vedic traditions? Yes, Jaguru, perseverance is one of the pillars of spiritual and personal growth in Vedic traditions. Take, for example, the practice of Sandhya Vandanam, a daily ritual that requires discipline and patience. It's a commitment to honor the divine forces, just like Frodo's long, arduous journey to Mount Doom. In life, we face numerous challenges, but it is through consistent effort, much like daily Vedic practices, that we find strength. In professional life, this lesson of perseverance teaches us to keep moving forward despite obstacles with faith and discipline. In Art of Living, Gurudev teaches that sadhana or spiritual practice is a long term commitment, whether it's Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, or meditation. The benefits come with time and consistent effort. This is reflected in Frodo's journey. Small steps eventually lead to monumental change. In a professional context, patience and perseverance allow us to stay focused and resilient in the face of setbacks. Through regular practice of sadhana, we develop the mental resilience and patience needed to handle difficult situations. Let's talk about the lesson that small, seemingly insignificant individuals can make a big difference. Frodo, Sam, and even Gollum played essential roles in shaping the outcome. How does this message fit with the teachings of the art of living and Vedic practices? Absolutely, Gurudev often says even the smallest person can change the course of the future. In Art of Living, everyone is encouraged to contribute in their own way, no matter how small it may seem, whether it's participating in seva or selfless service or simply being present in a satsang. Every contribution matters. Sam and Frodo's humble, steadfast actions show us that we all have the power to make a difference, no matter our role. In the workplace, this means that every individual's effort counts and collective progress is made up of small dedicated contributions. This also ties into the concept of dharma, where every person has a unique role or duty to perform, no matter how small. The homas and pujas we perform may seem simple, but their cumulative energy brings significant benefits. In the same way, Sam's loyalty and persistence, though humble, were essential to the success of the quest. In daily life and professionally, this teaches us to value every effort, knowing that even small acts of service done with dedication have a lasting impact. Another lesson from the story is the importance of hope and optimism. Even in dark times, characters like Sam constantly reminded others to hold on to hope. How do the art of living tools help us maintain a sense of hope? Hope is one of the key messages of Art of Living. Gurudev often says that meditation is the key to maintaining an optimistic mindset no matter how dark the situation may seem. Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama cleanse our emotional layers, reducing stress and negativity. This allows hope to flourish even in challenging times, just as Sam's unwavering hope kept Frodo going. In our professional lives, when we face failure or difficult situations, maintaining hope allows us to see new opportunities and solutions. Regular meditation and sadhana nurture this optimistic state of mind. The Vedic approach also reinforces this. The Upanishads tell us that darkness is temporary and light will always come. Agni Karyam and mantra chanting are tools that connect us to the divine light, clearing away fear and negativity. This sense of hope is essential not only in spiritual life but also in facing professional or personal crisis. It reminds us that every challenge will pass and there is always light at the end of the tunnel. One more key lesson is the need for self sacrifice for the greater good, which is portrayed multiple times in The Lord of the Rings. How is this reflected in the teachings of both traditions? Yes, self sacrifice or Tyaga is central to Vedic teachings. Characters like Gandalf and Aragorn put their personal desires aside for the good of all. In our tradition, we see this through the concept of Yagya, the selfless act of offering for the welfare of others. The practice of Seva also reflects this idea. It teaches us to give up our own comfort and time for the benefit of the community. In the professional world, self sacrifice can mean putting aside personal gain or recognition to ensure the success of a project or team. This is where true leadership is born. Yes, self sacrifice is about transcending the ego, which is a core teaching in Art of Living. Gurudev often speaks about the joy of giving and selflessness. Seva is not just about doing something for others, it's about letting go of personal desires and ego. Characters like Frodo embody this as a sacrifice their safety and well being for the greater good. In our day to day and professional lives, practicing Seva helps us shift from a mindset of what can I get to what can I give. This creates a more harmonious, productive environment both at home and in the workplace. Lastly, a theme that runs throughout the series is the battle between good and evil, both externally and internally. How do Vedic traditions and art of living tools address this internal battle we face? This is where Sanyam or self control comes into play. In the Vedic tradition, the battle between good and evil is often portrayed as a struggle between our higher and lower selves. Practices like Sandhya Vandanam and Upanayanam are designed to align us with our higher purpose and help us with this internal battle. In this sense, the external war in The Lord of the Rings can be seen as a metaphor for the internal struggle we face every day to overcome negativity and selfishness and fear. In Art of Living, Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and sadhana help us fight these internal battles by purifying the mind and emotions. The internal battle Frodo faces with the ring is symbolic of the attachment and desires we all struggle with. Through spiritual practices, we cultivate Sanyam sadhana and strengthen our inner resolve, helping us align with the higher good. In the professional world, this translates into ethical leadership and making decisions that benefit the greater good rather than succumbing to personal gain or temptation. Thank you both for this incredible discussion. It's amazing to see how the wisdom of the Lord of the Rings aligns so beautifully with the teachings of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji and the Vedic traditions. These lessons offer profound insights for navigating both our personal and professional lives. Jai Gurudev, it was a pleasure to share these insights. We hope that through the combination of ancient wisdom and modern stories, everyone can find practical tools to live a more balanced, purposeful, and joyful life. Jai Gurudev. Another recurring lesson in the book is the power of friendship and loyalty. The bond between Frodo and Sam stands as one of the strongest examples. How can this be applied in the spiritual context of the art of living and Vedic practices? Yes, friendship and loyalty are central to building a harmonious and supportive community. Gurudev always emphasizes the importance of satsang, a gathering of people who uplift each other with positive energy. The connection between Frodo and Sam is much like the connection we develop in satsang and seva or selfless service. Just as Sam remained loyal to Frodo, in life we support our friends and spiritual community. This fosters a sense of unity and belonging which strengthens us in our personal and professional challenges. In Vedic traditions, this idea is mirrored in the principle of Mitra Dharma, the duties and loyalty of friendship. The bond of true friends like Frodo and Sam is grounded in selflessness and sacrifice. Upanayanam or initiation and Sandhya Vandanam are traditional rituals where individuals are reminded of their connection to others and their duties towards the community in our day to day lives. Loyalty in friendships helps us maintain relationships that are meaningful and supportive both spiritually and professionally. The novel also teaches us about the dangers of power and the corrupting influence of greed. As we see with the One Ring, how can we apply the teachings of art of living and Vedic traditions to handle such temptations? One of the key messages from Gurudev is that true power comes from within, not from external sources like wealth or fame. The One Ring symbolizes the ego and material desires which can easily corrupt the mind. Through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and pranayama, we learn to manage these temptations by detaching ourselves from the craving for power. The practices help to purify the mind and reduce attachment to ego driven desires. In the professional world, this means being aware of the temptations that come with success, such as power, control, and greed, and learning to stay grounded and balanced through regular spiritual practices. Yes, the Vedic scriptures have long warned about the dangers of unchecked power. Sanyam or self control is an essential practice in Vedic traditions to ensure we don't fall prey to desires and greed. Agni Karam and Yagyas are rituals that encourage detachment from material gains and remind us of the importance of giving and humility. In the story, those who sought power like Sarunam or Gollum lost their humanity. In our lives, this lesson reminds us to keep our desires in check and always act with integrity, especially in professional settings where power dynamics can create ethical dilemmas. Another lesson is about the importance of humility and simplicity, often portrayed through characters like Sam and Aragorn. How does humility feature in the teachings of Art of Living in Vedic Dharma? Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji often speaks about the importance of humility as a foundation for wisdom. In The Lord of the Rings, the most humble characters like Sam and Aragorn play pivotal roles in overcoming evil. In Art of Living, humility is cultivated through practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Seva. These activities remind us of our small place in the vastness of creation, which helps dissolve ego in professional life. This can translate into collaborative leadership and being open to learning from everyone, no matter their position or status. In the Vedic tradition, humility is deeply connected to the concept of ahimsa or non-violence and seva or selfless service. We are taught that true knowledge only comes when one is humble. Mantra chanting in Agni Karam also reinforces idea, reminding us to surrender to the divine and act without pride. In professional life, humility allows us to build stronger, more genuine relationships, avoid conflicts, and foster an environment where people feel valued for their contributions. One powerful message from the novel is trusting in the unknown or divine plan, especially when Frodo and the others journey into uncertain territory. How can this idea be connected to the practices and teachings of the art of living and Vedic traditions? Trusting in the divine or a higher purpose is a key part of spiritual growth. Gurudev often emphasizes the importance of surrendering to the flow of life and trusting that everything happens for a reason, even if it is not clear at the time. In Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, we develop the inner strength and clarity to trust in the unknown. Frodo's journey teaches us that even in uncertainty, if we trust the process and continue forward, we will reach our destination in professional life. This trust allows us to remain calm in uncertain situations and make decisions with faith in the bigger picture. In Vedic philosophy, the concept of Ishvara Pranidhana, or surrender to the divine will, is integral. We are taught to perform our duties without attachment to the outcome, trusting that the divine plan will unfold as it should. Yagya and Upanayana remind us that we are part of a greater cosmic order. Frodo's journey filled with unknowns mirrors this belief. In daily and professional life, this surrender to the divine plan allows us to remain focused on our efforts without worrying about the end result, knowing that things will unfold as they are meant to. Lastly, what about a lesson of finding inner peace in times of turmoil? The characters face endless challenges, yet moments of peace and clarity are what keep them going. How can the practices from Art of Living and Vedic rituals help us find peace amidst chaos? Gurudev often says peace is not the absence of conflict but the presence of serenity amidst conflict. The inner peace that Frodo and others find even in their darkest moments is what sustains them. In Art of Living, meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, and Shakti Kriya are tools that help us find this inner peace no matter what is happening around us. These practices cleanse the mind and remove stress, allowing us to maintain calm even in the face of challenges. This is especially useful in the professional world where pressures and deadlines can create a chaotic environment. By cultivating inner peace, we can handle challenges more effectively. In Vedic practices, peace comes through sadhana or spiritual practice and mantra chanting and Agni Karyam. These practices connect us to the divine and align us with the natural rhythm of the universe. Characters like Gandalf and Aragorn find moments of clarity in the most chaotic times because they are connected to a deeper sense of purpose and peace. In our own lives, these rituals help us reconnect to that inner peace, allowing us to navigate challenges calmly and with a clear mind, both in personal and professional realms. Thank you once again for providing such thoughtful insights. The lessons from the Lord of the Rings take on new dimensions when paired with the teachings of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji and the rich wisdom of Vedic traditions. Yes, Jai Gurudev, it's been our pleasure. The wisdom from the novel combined with ancient practices offers us invaluable guidance for living a more balanced, conscious, and fulfilling life. Jai Gurudev. A key theme in the story is the importance of perseverance and never giving up, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Frodo, Sam, and their companions continue their quest despite countless obstacles. How can this be related to the teachings of perseverance in our spiritual practices? Yes, perseverance is a vital quality, especially when we face difficulties in life. Gurudev often reminds us that the journey of life is filled with ups and downs, but the key is to keep moving forward with faith. In Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, we learn to persist with our practice even when results are not immediately visible. The story of Frodo and Sam teaches us that it's not about the size of the challenge, but the strength of our spirit. In professional life, perseverance helps us push through failures and setbacks, knowing that success comes with persistence. In Vedic traditions, perseverance is tied to the concept of tapas or spiritual discipline or austerity. Yagyas and Upanyanam encourage individuals to develop this resilience. Frodo's journey reminds us of the importance of staying committed to our path no matter how hard it gets. In daily life, sadhana or spiritual practice requires perseverance as growth and transformation happen over time, not instantly. This lesson is crucial in the professional world as well. Persistence in pursuing goals and overcoming challenges leads to long term success. Another theme is the power of hope. Even when all seems lost, characters like Gandalf and Aragorn hold on to hope and inspire others. How does hope align with the teachings of the art of living and Vedic wisdom? Hope is an integral part of life and spiritual growth. Gurudev always emphasizes that no matter how dark the situation may seem, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Satsang, the coming together of people for spiritual gatherings, infuses of us with hope. The practices of pranayama and Sudarshan Kriya clear negativity from the mind, allowing hope to flourish even in difficult times. Hope helps us stay positive and motivated in our personal and professional lives, just as Gandalf's belief in the goodness of Middle Earth guided the fellowship through the darkest times. In Vedic tradition, hope is connected to Shraddha or faith rituals such as Sandhya Vandanam and mantra chanting are practices that cultivate hope and faith, reminding us that the divine is always present and guiding us. Aragorn's unwavering hope, even when facing overwhelming odds, is similar to the spiritual faith we maintain in our lives in day to day and professional settings. Hope allows us to remain optimistic and resilient even in the face of adversity. The novel also teaches us about the importance of accepting help. Throughout the journey, characters like Frodo often rely on the support of others. How can we apply this lesson in our daily lives and spiritual practices? Accepting help requires humility and the realization that we are not alone in this world. Gurudev often teaches that collaboration and openness to receiving help are signs and strength, not weaknesses. In satsang and seva, we learn that there is great power in community and that we are all here to support each other. Just as Frodo accepts help from Sam, Gandalf, and others, in our lives, we should be open to receiving guidance and assistance, whether in spiritual practices or professional work. In Vedic culture, the concept of dhanam or giving and receiving is central. Just as we give, we must also be willing to receive. Yagyas and Agni Karyam are performed with the understanding that we are part of a larger whole and that help, both divine and human, is always available when needed. Frodo's acceptance of help is a lesson in humility and community spirit, reminding us that teamwork and collaboration are essential both in spiritual practices and professional endeavors. Courage in the face of fear is another powerful message, especially with characters like Frodo, Aragorn, and even Sam who must confront their fears. How does the art of living in Vedic teachings help cultivate this kind of courage? Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. Gurudev often says that when we are connected to the present moment through practices like Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, fear naturally dissolves. Fear arises from the mind projecting into the future, but through spiritual practices, we gain the strength to face challenges head on. Frodo's courage in the face of fear mirrors the courage we develop in life when we stay rooted in the present and trust the divine. In Vedic teachings, courage comes from dharma, the righteous path. When we align ourselves with dharma, we naturally develop the courage to face fear. Characters like Aragorn embody this idea, showing that true courage arises from a commitment to higher values. In daily life, performing Upanayana or mantra chanting and participating in yagyas are practices that help us stay aligned with Dharma and give us the courage to face life's challenges. The theme of destiny and free will is woven throughout the story, where characters make their choices, but there is a sense that they are part of a larger destiny. How does this theme resonate with the teachings of Gurudev and Vedic philosophy? Gurudev often speaks about the balance between free will and destiny. While we may not be able to control the larger forces in life, we have control over how we respond to situations. In the novel, characters like Frodo and Aragorn make conscious choices, yet they are part of a larger destiny through meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, and wisdom sessions. We learn to use our free will to make the best choices while accepting that some things are beyond our control. This brings peace and reduces stress, especially in professional settings where we may feel overwhelmed. In Vedic philosophy, karma or action and bhagya or destiny go hand in hand. Our actions influence our destiny, yet we are also part of a cosmic plan. The stories' characters illustrate this balance beautifully. Upanayana and Agnikaram remind us that while we must act with full effort and responsibility, we also need to surrender to the divine plan in our professional lives. This understanding helps us make responsible choices without being attached to outcomes, knowing that both destiny and effort shape our journey. Lastly, one of the most powerful messages from the book is the triumph of good over evil, often against overwhelming odds. How does the art of living and Vedic wisdom guide us in this eternal battle between good and evil, both internally and externally? Gurudev often reminds us that good and evil are forces within us, and the real battle is internal. Through Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and meditation, we cleanse the mind of negativity, which is the real source of evil, just as Frodo struggles with the temptation of the ring. We are all face inner conflicts between right and wrong. By staying connected to our inner self and practicing these tools, we can ensure that the good within us always triumphs. This helps us maintain integrity in both personal and professional life. In Vedic tradition, the battle between good and evil is symbolized in stories like the Ramayana and Mahabharata, where dharma, righteousness, ultimately prevails. Yagyas and mantra chanting and sadhana are practices that help us align with dharma and overcome the negative forces within us. The triumph of good over evil in the Lord of the Rings echoes this eternal truth that righteousness, integrity, and purity of heart will always overcome darkness both in our inner world and in our outer life. Thank you for the comprehensive insights. It's remarkable to see how the timeless wisdom of the Lord of the Rings combined with the teachings of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji and the Vedic traditions offers such profound guidance for our everyday and professional lives. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, it's been a pleasure to discuss these connections. The novel and spiritual wisdom together form a rich tapestry of lessons that can help us live more consciously, joyfully, and ethically in every aspect of our lives. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, another key lesson in The Lord of the Rings is the importance of humility and simplicity. Frodo, though small and seemingly insignificant, carries the greatest burden. How does this theme resonate with the teachings of humility in The Art of Living? Jai Gurudev, yes, humility is a cornerstone of spiritual growth. Gurudev always and often emphasizes that real strength comes from humility, not arrogance. When we remain humble, we become open to learning and growth, just like Frodo, who is humble despite the enormous task given to him. In satsang and seva, we are reminded that no task is too small or beneath us. Even in professional life, it is through humility that we build strong relationships and earn respect, allowing us to work collaboratively without ego getting in the way. In Vedic traditions, humility is tied to the virtue of Vinaya or modesty. Many rituals, such as Upanayanam and Padmasadhana, emphasize surrender and humility before the divine. Frodo's humility and simplicity teach us that greatness doesn't come from external power, but from inner purity. This lesson is important in daily life and professional environments, where simplicity and humility often lead to long term success and inner peace. There is also the idea of letting go of attachment, particularly with the One Ring, symbolizing the seductive power of attachment and desire. How does the art of living help us let go of attachments, and how can this benefit us in our daily lives? Letting go of attachment is one of the core teachings of the art of living. Gurudev often says that attachment leads to suffering, and it is through meditation and wisdom that we learn to release these attachments. The outer ring, the One Ring, in the novel represents the attachments we hold onto, whether it's power, control, or material desires that eventually weigh us down. Through practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Shakti Kriya, we cleanse our system of these deep rooted attachments, allowing us to live more freely and joyfully. In professional life, when we let go of attachment to results, we work with greater clarity and less stress. In Vedic teachings, Vairagya or detachment is a vital concept. Letting go of desires is essential for spiritual liberation. Agni Karyam or Yagyas and mantra chanting help cultivate detachment from material things, much like how Frodo eventually lets go of the ring. By practicing detachment in our daily lives, we reduce stress and anxiety and remain more focused on the present moment. Professionally, this helps us remain objective and centered even in challenging situations. The idea of service to others or seva is another powerful message in the story, especially with characters like Sam who continually serve and support others without expecting anything in return. How does seva fit into the teachings of the art of living, and how can we integrate it into our lives? Seva is at the heart of the art of living. Gurudev teaches that selfless service purifies the heart and brings immense joy. Sam's unwavering support of Frodo is a perfect example of seva. He serves without expectation or selfish motive. In our lives, when we engage in seva, we experience the joy of giving, which in turn elevates our consciousness. Through the art of living, says numerous service projects such as humanitarian work and community initiatives, we get the opportunity to practice selfless service or seva. When integrated into our professional life, fosters teamwork and collaboration, creating an environment of support and kindness. In Vedic tradition, seva is connected to karma yoga, the path of selfless action. Rituals like homas and yagyas are often performed with the intention of serving the greater good. Characters like Sam show us the transformative power of seva both for ourselves and others. When we serve without attachment to the outcome, we align with our higher purpose in day to day life and work. Practicing seva helps us to develop compassion, humility, and a sense of shared responsibility for the welfare of others. There is a recurring message in The Lord of the Rings about finding light in dark times. Gandalf speaks about often about the importance of focusing on the good even when surrounded by evil. How can we apply this in times of personal or professional difficulty? Gurudev often reminds us that light always exists even in the darkest moments. Through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and pranayama, we cultivate inner peace and resilience, enabling us to find light within ourselves regardless of external circumstances. Just as Gandalf urges others to focus on hope and goodness in tough times, we can lean on spiritual practices to keep our mind clear and heart open. In professional settings, this translates to staying positive and solution oriented even when challenges arise. In the Vedic philosophy, the idea of finding light in dark times is embodied in the practice of Sandhya Vandanam, a daily prayer to honor the transition between light and darkness. The story's message aligns with the teachings that even in Kali Yuga, or the age of darkness, divine light is always present. The mantra chanting and Agni Karam help connect us to this inner light in professional life. Maintaining this perspective helps us stay hopeful and proactive, especially in moments of crisis or uncertainty. The importance of wisdom and discernment is emphasized with characters like Gandalf and Elrond, who guide others with their deep knowledge and foresight. How does this align with the wisdom shared by Gurudev and Vedic teachings? Yes, wisdom is essential for navigating life's complexities. Gurudev often says that satsang, gathering in the company of the wise, helps us to develop discernment. Characters like Gandalf are symbols of the Guru principle, guiding others to make the right choices in our day to day lives. The knowledge imparted in wisdom sessions and through spiritual texts helps us sharpen our discernment. This is critical in professional life as well, where sound judgment and wise decision making lead to better outcomes and relationships. In Vedic tradition, jnana or knowledge and viveka or discernment are the highest virtues. Characters like Gandalf embody the role of the Guru, imparting wisdom to help others navigate their paths. In Upanayana and mantra chanting, we seek the blessings of wisdom and clear insight. Wisdom is the foundation of right action, both in spiritual life and professional context. Developing discernment helps us make choices that align with our higher purpose and the greater good. The notion of unity in diversity is prevalent in The Lord of the Rings, where different races, elves, men, dwarves, hobbits come together for a common purpose. How does this principle reflect in the teachings of the art of living in Vedic culture? Unity in diversity is one of the core teachings of the art of living. Gurudev often speaks about the beauty of diversity and the need for us to come together despite our differences for the greater good. In satsang and global service initiatives, people from all walks of life unite for a common purpose. Peace, joy, and service. A fellowship in the Lord of the Rings is an excellent metaphor for how we can collaborate with people of different backgrounds in both personal and professional life, creating harmony and success through cooperation. In Vedic philosophy, the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, embodies this unity in diversity. Rituals like yagyas and community events bring people together, honoring the differences while celebrating the oneness of creation. The novel's message of diverse groups uniting for a common cause mirrors this wisdom in the workplace and daily life. Embracing diversity allows us to create a more inclusive and harmonious environment where everyone's strengths contribute to collective success. Thank you once again for these profound insights. It's inspiring to see how the lessons from the Lord of the Rings combined with the spiritual wisdom of Gurudev, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji, and the Vedic practices can deeply enrich our personal, spiritual, and professional lives. It's been an enlightening conversation. The universal themes from the novel, when applied through spiritual tools and ancient wisdom, provide timeless guidance for living with purpose, peace, and joy. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, one of the most powerful lessons from the Lord of the Rings is the theme of perseverance in the face of adversity. Frodo and Sam face impossible odds, yet they continue on their journey. How can perseverance, especially in difficult times, be cultivated through the art of living techniques? Perseverance is essential for success, and it's especially important during times of struggle. Gurudev teaches us that when we remain committed and calm, even in the face of challenges, we eventually overcome them. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Padma Sadhana help build resilience by calming the mind and strengthening inner ability and stability. Frodo's perseverance shows us that the journey may be hard, but it's possible if we remain steadfast in professional life. Staying consistent and dedicated to our goals despite setbacks leads to growth and success. In Vedic tradition, perseverance is tied to the concept of tapasya or austerity, to rituals like Sandhya Vandanam and Agni Karam. We train ourselves to be patient and disciplined, much like how Frodo and Sam demonstrate unshakable dedication. The lesson here is to stay focused on the goal, even when the path is difficult. Perseverance, whether in spiritual practice or in professional life, leads to mastery and fulfillment. Faith and trust are key components in the story, trusting in oneself and one's companions, and even in something greater than themselves. How do these qualities align with Art of Living's teachings, and how can they be applied in our relationships and careers? Faith and trust are central to spiritual growth and success in life. Gurudev often emphasizes the importance of trusting the process of life and surrendering to the divine. Just as Frodo places his trust in Sam and Gandalf in our lives, we must learn to trust ourselves, the people around us, and the larger plan of the universe. Meditation and mantra chanting help strengthen this trust by quieting the mind and allowing us to connect with a deeper sense of faith. In a professional life, when we trust our team members and ourselves, we create an atmosphere of mutual respect and collaboration. In the Vedas, trust is seen as essential for spiritual harmony. The Guru Shishya or teacher student relationship is based on deep trust, and through practices like satsang and seva, we cultivate faith in the Guru's guidance and the divine. The fellowship's trust in each other mirrors the trust we must have in our family, colleagues, and even in the divine plan. In our professional lives, this trust allows for smoother teamwork and helps us navigate challenges with confidence. A key message from the Lord of the Rings is the power of small acts of kindness and their ripple effect. How does the art of living emphasize kindness, and how can these small acts transform our personal and professional lives? Small acts of kindness have a profound impact on both the giver and receiver. Gurudev often reminds us that even the smallest gesture of kindness can brighten someone's day and uplift their spirit. In seva and daily interactions, practicing kindness brings joy and positivity. In the Lord of the Rings, it is often small, kind actions that create significant change, like Frodo sparring Gollum or Sam caring for Frodo. In professional settings, acts of kindness build stronger relationships, foster goodwill, and create a more supportive environment, making work smoother and more pleasant. In the Vedic tradition, kindness is a form of dharma or righteousness. It's not about grand gestures, but small, consistent acts of care and support. Rituals like dana or charity and yagyas are rooted in the spirit of selfless giving. In everyday life, acts of kindness help foster harmony, and in the workplace, it transforms the culture into one of cooperation and mutual respect, creating positive, lasting changes. Overcoming inner fears is a recurring theme in the novel, with characters facing their deepest fears to move forward. How does the art of living help us overcome our inner fears, and how can this be beneficial in daily life? Yes, Jai Gurudev. Fear is something we all face, but through practices like Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and meditation, we learn to transcend our fears. Gurudev teaches us that fear arises from a lack of connection with our true self, and by going inward, we can face our fears with courage and clarity. Characters like Aragorn and Frodo overcome immense internal fears before they can achieve their goals, reminding us that the real battle is often within. In professional life, overcoming fear of failure or rejection is key to taking bold actions and making progress. The Vedic teachings on abhaya or fearlessness are fundamental to spiritual practice. Through rituals like Upanayana and the chanting of sacred mantras, we strengthen our inner courage and remove fear. Characters in The Lord of the Rings show that it's often our inner fears that hold us back, and by confronting them, we unlock our true potential. Overcoming fear is essential in both personal life and work environments, as it enables us to take risks, innovate, and grow. The novel also highlights the importance of hope in even the most hopeless situations. How can we maintain the hope through the tools provided by the art of living? Hope is a powerful force that keeps us moving forward even when circumstances seem bleak. Gurudev teaches us that hope is renewed through spiritual practices like satsang, meditation, and pranayama, which lift our spirits and remind us that no situation is permanent. In The Lord of the Rings, characters like Sam constantly hold on to hope even when all seems lost, and that hope becomes the fuel for their perseverance. In our daily and professional lives, hope helps us stay positive and focused, ensuring that we don't give up when things get tough. Hope is tied to the concept of Shraddha or faith in Vedic philosophy. Through rituals like yagyas and mantra chanting, we affirm our faith in the divine plan, knowing that everything happens for a reason. The stories' emphasis on hope resonates with the Vedic belief that the light always follows darkness. Professionally, maintaining hope helps us stay resilient, motivated, and creative even during difficult times. The theme of forgiveness is strong in the novel, especially when Frodo shows mercy to Gollum. How important is forgiveness in the art of living philosophy, and how can it be applied in everyday relationships and work life? Forgiveness is vital for our own peace and well being. Gurudev teaches that holding on to anger or grudges only harms us, while forgiveness frees the mind and heart. In Frodo's forgiveness from Gollum, we see the transformative power of mercy. Through Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, we release the negative emotions tied to anger and learn to forgive, creating space for love and understanding. In professional life, forgiveness fosters a better teamwork, reduces stress, and allows us to move past conflicts, focusing on collaboration rather than division. Forgiveness is aligned with Shama or forbearance in Vedic tradition. The story shows that true strength lies in mercy, and the ability to forgive others is a mark of spiritual maturity. Rituals like Agni Karyam and Yagyas often include prayers for forgiveness, both for ourselves and others in daily life and professional settings. Forgiveness promotes harmony and prevents the escalation of conflicts, making it a crucial practice for maintaining peace and balance. Jai Gurudev. The strength of diversity and unity is seen throughout the novel, where characters of different races, elves, dwarves, men, hobbits, come together for a common goal. How does Art of Living's emphasis on unity and diversity help in building stronger communities and professional teams? Yes, Jai Gurudev, unity and diversity is a key teaching of Gurudev. He reminds us that our differences, whether in culture, language, or personality, are what make the world vibrant, just like in The Lord of the Rings, where the fellowship succeeds because of its members' diverse strengths. We can apply this in our own lives by valuing the uniqueness each person brings. Through satsang, seva, and community based programs, Art of Living fosters a sense of togetherness. In professional life, embracing diversity leads to more creative problem solving, innovation, and a more harmonious working environment. The concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, in the Vedas teaches us the value of unity and diversity. Rituals like yagyas and mantra chanting bring people together, irrespective of their background, in a common purpose. This unity was crucial for the fellowship's success, and it's equally essential in our workplaces and communities. By appreciating diversity, we build stronger, more resilient teams capable of overcoming any challenge. Another powerful lesson is the idea that the smallest individuals can make the biggest difference. How does Art of Living encourage individuals to recognize their potential and contribute to the world, no matter how small their actions may seem? Gurudev often says, don't underestimate your potential. Each person, no matter their background or circumstances, has a power to make a significant impact. Like Frodo, who appears small and insignificant but plays a pivotal role, we can use practices like Sudarshan Kriya, Shakti Kriya, and meditation to connect with our inner strength and purpose. In both personal and professional life, small, consistent efforts lead to big changes over time. Whether it's offering help to a colleague or practicing kindness in daily life, these actions accumulate to create positive transformations. In the Vedic tradition, we see that even small rituals like daily Sandhya Vandanam or chanting of simple mantras have a profound cumulative effect. This mirrors the idea that seemingly small contributions like Frodo's are often what lead to the greatest results. In professional settings, it's the small, unnoticed efforts that often lay the foundation for larger achievements. The allure of power and its corrupting influence is a central theme, particularly with the One Ring. How can we protect ourselves from the temptations of ego, power, and control in our personal and professional lives? The desire for power and control often leads to stress and imbalance. Gurudev teaches that true power lies in self control and humility, not in dominating others. Practices like meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, and Sanyam Sadhana help dissolve the ego, grounding us in our true nature. In The Lord of the Rings, we see how those who lust for power, like Gollum or Saruman, are consumed by it, while characters like Frodo and Aragorn remain humble and focused on the greater good. In professional life, staying grounded in humility and avoiding the trap of power dynamics leads to a more balanced, peaceful approach to leadership and decision making. In Vedic teachings, the concept of ahimsa or non-violence and aparigraha or non-possessiveness teaches us to let go of the desire for power and material control. Agni Karyam and Yagya symbolize the sacrifice of our ego to the higher causes. The story's warning about the corrupting influence of the ring reminds us to avoid getting attached to the power, status, or control both in personal relationships and in our careers. True success comes from remaining humble and aligned with our higher purpose. The theme of sacrifice for a greater good is prevalent throughout the novel, with characters like Gandalf and Frodo making personal sacrifices. How can we cultivate a sense of selfless service and sacrifice through the teachings of Art of Living? Selfless service or seva is at the heart of the art of living. Gurudev teaches us that when we work for the well being of others without expecting anything in return, we experience deep fulfillment and joy. Characters in the novel, like Frodo, sacrificing his peace for the mission, or Gandalf offering his life, exemplify this principle in our daily lives as small sacrifices, whether it's giving time to help others or contributing to the community, can have a profound impact. Seva in Art of Living programs encourages this mindset of giving back to society selflessly. Vedic traditions emphasize yajna as a metaphor for sacrifice, whether it's offering in the fire of a ritual or giving up personal desires for a greater cause. The act of sacrifice purifies the soul. In the story, the willingness to sacrifice for the greater good reflects in the spirit of Tyaga or renunciation found in the Vedas in our professional lives. This can translate into mentoring others, sharing knowledge selflessly, or putting the team's success above personal gain. Hope and renewal play a critical role, particularly in the return of the king and the restoration of peace. How can the art of living help individuals find hope and renewal in difficult times? Jayagurudev's hope is like a light that guides us through darkness, and Gurudev often reminds us that nothing is permanent, neither sorrow nor joy. Through Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and meditation, individuals can release stress and negativity, allowing hope and renewal to enter into their hearts. Just as the return of Aragon symbolizes the renewal of Middle Earth, we can find personal renewal through spiritual practices that reconnect us to our souls and source in professional life. Staying hopeful allows us to see new opportunities even in challenges, leading to continuous growth. The theme of renewal aligns with the Vedic concept of punarjanma or rebirth. After times of difficulty or destruction, there is always a promise of new life and new beginnings. Rituals like Upayanam signify a renewal of spiritual vows and responsibilities in both the personal and professional context. This means embracing change and looking forward to new possibilities with optimism and faith. The journey matters as much as the destination. As we see the characters grow throughout their adventures, how does this philosophy align with the teachings of Art of Living? Yeah, Gurudev, yes, Gurudev often says the journey is more important than the destination. Through practices like yoga, Padma Sadhana, and daily satsang, we learn to live in the present moment, enjoying the process rather than getting fixated on the outcomes. In the Art of Living and the Lord of the Rings, the characters' growth and experiences along the journey are just as important as reaching their goal in our lives. Whether it's a personal or professional endeavor, the lesson we learn, the relationships we build, and the experiences we gather along the way are what shape us and not just the final result. This idea is also deeply rooted in the concept of dharma, where the focus is on performing one's duty without attachment to the results. The Vedic practice of karma yoga teaches that it is the actions and the effort that matter, not just the rewards. In the novel, the characters' experiences and growth reflect this understanding. In daily and professional life, focusing on the quality of our work and the process helps us stay centered and fulfilled regardless of the outcome. Jai Gurudev. These points delve deeper into the core lessons of from the Lord of the Rings and their application to both personal and professional life through the lens of art of living tools and the timeless wisdom of Vedic traditions. The integration of these spiritual practices, such as Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, sevas, and yagyas, and other Vedic rituals, offers a holistic approach to living a balanced, purpose-driven life aligned with the higher principles of dharma, kindness, and service. Jai Gurudev.